Let's get right into it. Number 1. Tab toggling without progress. Okay, real talk. How many tabs do you have open right now? If you have ADHD, it's probably a lot. But here's the thing. You're not actually using them. You're just toggling. Flipping between tabs, apps, emails, not finishing anything, but unable to stop. It's like your brain is buffering, searching for the thing that'll finally click and give you that dopamine hit. But nothing does. So you just keep refreshing, switching, scrolling. It's not procrastination, it's your brain stuck in seek mode, desperately trying to find something stimulating enough to lock onto. Number 2. Chore inertia, then sprints. Let's talk about the dishes. They sit in the sink for 3 days. Every time you walk by, you think, I should do those. But you don't. It's not that you can't, it's that there's this invisible wall between you and the action. The task feels mountainous even though you know it'll take 10 minutes. And then, suddenly, at 11 p.m. on a random Tuesday, you clean your entire kitchen, reorganize the pantry, wipe down the baseboards. You're a productivity machine. This is chore inertia followed by hyperfocus sprints. Your brain doesn't have a middle gear. It's either stuck in park or flooring it at 90 miles per hour. And here's what makes it frustrating. People see the midnight cleaning spree and think, see, you can do it when you want to. But that's not how it works. You can't control when the engine turns on. You're just along for the ride. Number 3. Mess clumps, not full chaos. Your space isn't totally chaotic. It's strategic chaos. There's that chair with all your still need this items. The corner of your desk with current projects. Piles that look random but actually have a system. Your system. These aren't laziness, they're physical bookmarks. Your brain is offloading memory onto your environment. That pile of papers, it's a to-do list. That stack of books, a visual reminder of what you're working on. The problem is when someone cleans up your space and suddenly you have no idea where anything is, because they removed your external memory system.
So, if you live with someone, have a conversation. Explain that your mess isn't random. It's how you keep track of things. And moving it might actually make things worse. Number 4. Rejection sensitivity. Someone takes a few hours to text back, or they use a slightly different tone, or they don't laugh at your joke, and suddenly you're spiraling. Did I say something wrong? Are they mad at me? Do they hate me now? This is rejection-sensitive dysphoria, RSD, and it's a huge part of ADHD. Your emotional responses are dialed up. A small social cue feels like a massive rejection, and you can't just stop overthinking it. Your brain is convinced that every little thing is evidence that people don't like you, even when logically you know that's not true. It's not being too sensitive. It's your nervous system overreacting to perceived rejection, and it can be genuinely painful. If this resonates, you're not overreacting. Your brain just processes emotional information differently, and that's okay. Number 5. Time blindness in micro moments. You've probably heard about losing track of hours, but what about minutes? You think you have just 5 more minutes before you need to leave, so you scroll your phone, check one email, start folding one shirt, and somehow, that 5 minutes becomes 30, and now you're leaving exactly when you were supposed to arrive. This isn't poor planning. It's your brain's inability to feel time passing accurately. ADHD brains don't have a good internal clock. Time either drags or it vanishes. There's no in between. So you're constantly surprised by how long things take, every single day. And the worst part? You know this happens. You've experienced it 1,000 times, but your brain still can't compensate for it. Number 6. Out of sight equals out of mind. If it's not directly in your line of vision, does it even exist? For ADHD brains, no, it genuinely doesn't. You buy groceries with good intentions, but if they're in the crisper drawer, forgotten, rotting, discovered 3 weeks later like a science experiment. Your charger isn't lost, it's behind the couch. Your keys aren't missing, they're in yesterday's jacket. That bill you needed to pay?
buried under a stack of mail you meant to sort. This is called object permanence issues, and it's a huge part of ADHD. Your working memory is limited, so if something leaves your immediate environment, your brain basically deletes it from RAM. Number 7. Hyperfocus detours. You sit down to work on that big project, but first your desktop looks messy, so you start organizing your folders, color-coding them, creating new categories, renaming files with proper conventions. 3 hours later, you've built the most beautiful file system known to humanity, but the actual work? Untouched. This is hyperfocus, but misdirected. Your brain latched onto something stimulating, and you genuinely couldn't pull away. People think ADHD means you can't focus, but that's not true. You can focus intensely, just not always on the right thing. And the frustrating part, it feels good in the moment. You're productive, you're getting things done, just not the things you actually needed to do. Number 8. Sleep-wake drift. No matter how much you try, your bedtime keeps drifting later. 10 p.m. becomes 11 p.m., then midnight, then 2 a.m. You're not trying to stay up, but nighttime is when your brain finally wakes up. This is called delayed sleep phase syndrome, and it's super common with ADHD. Your internal clock doesn't match the world's schedule. Your brain doesn't start producing melatonin until way later than it should, so mornings feel like punishment. You're groggy, irritable, barely functional. But at night, you're suddenly productive, creative, alert. Your brain is finally online. The frustrating part? Society isn't built for night owls, so you're constantly fighting your own biology just to fit into a 9-to-5 world. If this is you, it's not laziness, it's neurobiology. And sometimes, the best thing you can do is work with your rhythm instead of against it. Number 9. Routine intolerance, yet routine need. You know what you need. Structure, systems, routines. So you make the perfect planner. Color-coded schedules, morning routines, time blocking. It's beautiful. And for 3 days, you're unstoppable. Then day 4 hits and the whole system feels like a cage. You can't stand it. It's suffocating. So you abandon it completely. This is the ADHD paradox. You need routines to function, but routines also feel unbearable. It's because ADHD brains crave novelty. Doing the same thing every day, even if it's good for you, feels like torture. So you're stuck in this loop. Build system, feel great. Get bored, abandon system, feel chaos, build new system. The trick? Build in flexibility. Routines with variation. Give your brain the structure and the novelty it needs. Number 10. No sense of accomplishment. You finish something big, a project you worked on for weeks, something you should feel proud of, but instead, nothing. Just a quiet, okay, next. This is the ADHD dopamine deficit in action. Neurotypical brains get a reward hit when they complete things. That sense of, yes, I did it, floods them with satisfaction. But ADHD brains don't produce dopamine efficiently, so that reward system is broken. You finish the thing, and your brain doesn't celebrate. It just immediately moves to the next task, searching for stimulation. Which means you can accomplish huge things and still feel empty, still feel like you haven't done enough. It's exhausting. Number 11. Hobby hopping. You get obsessed with something new. Painting, houseplants, learning guitar. You go all in, buy all the supplies, watch every tutorial, practice for hours. And then, 2 weeks later, nothing. The interest is just gone. This isn't flakiness. It's your brain chasing novelty and dopamine. New hobbies are exciting. They light up your reward system. But once the novelty wears off and it becomes routine, your brain loses interest. So your closet is full of abandoned projects, and you feel guilty about all the things you quit. But here's the reframe. You didn't fail at those hobbies. You just extracted all the dopamine they had to offer, and that's okay. Number 12. Sensory overload in disguise. Certain things feel unbearable. Tags in your shirt, the hum of fluorescent lights, crowds. It's not just annoying, it's too much. Like your nervous system is on fire. ADHD often comes with sensory processing differences. Your brain is already overstimulated, so additional sensory input, even normal stuff, pushes you over the edge. This is why you need noise-canceling headphones, why you cut tags out of all your clothes, why you can't handle certain fabrics. It's not picky, it's self-preservation. Number 13. Oversharing without filter. You're in a normal conversation, and suddenly you're talking about something deeply personal. Mid-sentence, you realize, why did I just say that? But it's too late. It's out there. This is impulsive honesty. ADHD brains have weak filters between thought and speech. Something pops into your head, and before you can evaluate if it's appropriate, it's already coming out of your mouth. Sometimes it's funny. Sometimes it's endearing. Sometimes it's mortifying. But it's not intentional. It's just how your brain works. Number 14. The wall before starting. You want to start. You've planned to start. You know you need to start. But there's this invisible wall, this heavy, immovable barrier between you and the action. This is executive dysfunction, and it's one of the most frustrating parts of ADHD. It's not laziness. It's not lack of motivation. It's a neurological inability to initiate tasks. Your brain's start button is broken, and no amount of willpower can force it. The cruel irony? Once you start, you're often fine. You can work for hours. But getting over that initial wall, that's the impossible part. Number 15. The dopamine paradox. You can't focus on what's urgent. The deadline is looming, but you can't make yourself work. But that random, pointless thing, you can hyperfocus for 6 hours straight. This is the dopamine paradox. ADHD brains are dopamine deficient, so your brain is constantly searching for stimulation, and it doesn't care if that stimulation is productive. It's not about discipline or willpower. It's about neurotransmitters. Your brain will only focus on things that provide enough dopamine, and unfortunately, important tasks often don't. This is why ADHD people can seem lazy about important stuff, but intensely productive on random projects. It's not a choice. It's chemistry. Number 16.
Whoa. You're still here? Impressive. All right, you earned this. Tiny crown, just for you. There. Looks good.
Not being able to finish YouTube videos. Okay, bonus sign. And if you're still here, congratulations, you might be the exception. You click on a video. You're genuinely interested. You want to watch it. But 3 minutes in, you've already opened 2 other tabs, checked your notifications, and started thinking about that thing you need to do later. The video is still playing. You're technically watching, but you've absorbed absolutely nothing. So you skip ahead, then back, then to the comments to see if someone summarized it. Then you close the tab entirely because now it feels like homework. Your YouTube watch history is a graveyard of videos paused at the 4-minute mark. And the irony? You probably didn't finish this video either, which means you're not even hearing this right now. But if you are still here, if you somehow made it all the way to number 16, comment, "I finished it" below so we can celebrate this small miracle together. Because let's be honest, making it to the end of anything is an achievement when your brain is constantly screaming, "Next." If you found this helpful, drop a comment below. Which sign hit the hardest? Are you diagnosed, self-suspecting, or just curious? And seriously, if you made it this far, you're a legend. Drop that "I finished it" in the comments. And if you want more content on understanding your brain and actually making it work for you, subscribe, because we're just getting started. Thanks for watching. And remember, different doesn't mean broken. See you in the next one.